So today we are joined by Oliver Beard, who is an upcoming indie artist who released his new EP, I'm Coming to Kill You, last year. Oliver, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So the process of making this EP was a bit unconventional. You recorded all 5 tracks live in one day.
Yeah.
So how was that, and do you think you would do it again?
I actually am doing it again. I've just booked in. Well, I'm trying to book in to do it again. It was kind of hectic, but I really enjoyed it. It was really fun to do it all in once. I'd done a lot of sort of working at home and like doing it all by myself before that, working on other people's music and working on my own music. And I just really wanted to get in a room with musicians and just make it and just smash it out. And it was a bit like running a marathon. Like by the end of the day we were exhausted, but it was really fun and really rewarding.
Is like collaboration something that you've had much experience with in the past?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something I'm often doing. Like it's kind of one of the biggest parts of my creative output in the world is collaborating with other people.
Absolutely. Your EP is called I'm Coming to Kill You.
Yes.
Can you tell me a bit more about that title and
Yeah.
the project as a whole?
Yeah, so it's an intense title, and I chose it because I knew it was intense, and it's called that because it's after there's a song on the EP called I'm Coming to Kill You. It's the second song, and that song is a song about sexual assault, and it's about recovering from experiencing sexual assault and coming to terms with it, and it's about processing feelings of anger and feelings of hurt and sort of pulling that into the extreme of that feeling. I heard this song called I'm Coming to Paris to Kill You a few years ago when I was studying at the con. I was doing music at the con, and I had a lecture from, I think it was from JD O'Regan, who's one of the lecturers there, but it could have been someone else. I hope it was JD. I think it's JD. And she was talking about the Australian murder ballad and how there is this long history in Australia and in folk music in general of the murder ballad. You can think of like Phoebe Bridgers did a version of You Missed My Heart, which is like which is a murder ballad. And then even like Waltzing Matilda, if you look at the full lyrics, is a murder ballad. And I thought there was something really interesting about that, about this extremely intense subject matter and just being as raw and open and as intense about it as I could be. So that's where the title comes from. And it is, yeah, every time I realize that I called it that, I'm like, oh, that is really intense. But hey, it's true. So, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that you write poetry as well.
Yes.
I was wondering how your interest in poetry like informs your songwriting.
Well, poetry came to me after songwriting. Like I was writing pure, like lyricless music for a long time. Like I used to write purely instrumental music, and then when I was at the conservatorium, I sort of discovered like literature and writing, or at least my enjoyment of it, and now it's like it's as big a part of what I do as the music is. Like I often will write pure lyrics before I even touch an instrument. Like actually all of the songs on the last EP were written without touching an instrument, at least the words were, and then I took them to an instrument to find how they would fit.
Would you say then like your poetry and your songwriting is sort of connected? Like can your poems become songs?
Oh, definitely. I think that all the things I write are quite musical. Like I think they all have quite a rhythm and a meter. I often write to like the exact same meter in the poems that I write, and so yeah, I think that all the poems I write are potential lyrics, and some just don't get taken that way.
And this project it's a little more stripped back than some of your previous releases. And I was wondering how your musical influences have like shifted over the past couple years.
Well, I think I've always wanted to like move to more pure folk or pure folk rock, like move away from electronic sounds. Like on an older release, one of my first EP I ever released, which was called Songs from Secondhand Piano, there was a lot more like, I made that in my bedroom and I didn't have access to drums or a sort of a larger recording studio. So a lot of the things on there were done with synthesizers and electronic, instruments, and and I think that was like a necessity of what I was doing then. But also I was really interested in that at the time. I was listening to more of that music, and I think that I just listened to less and less of that kind of music and was listening to more traditional folk. Well, not traditional, but like older folk music, like more like 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s folk music and country music, and was really wanting to record something that sounded like it maybe potentially could have been recorded then. I don't actually think the EP sounds like it could have been recorded then, but I think that the inspiration is definitely there, that you can hear that it was inspired by that.
Absolutely. I think it does have a very unique sound. Like, I think it's very fresh in terms of what's coming out at the moment. Yeah. And what's next for you musically?
I'm doing quite a few things at the moment. I'm actually working on some plays and writing music for plays. I'm currently working on a play at the Australian Theatre for Young People, which is called The Last Train to Madeline. We open on the 12th of March, and I've written a song for it, and then I've written the score, the sound design, the score for the play, and then I'm working on a production of Midsummer Night's Dream for Sport for Jove, and that's going to be the education season of that, so we'll be showing it to school children, and that will be, I'm writing songs for the whole production that we're going to adapt the Shakespeare into songs at parts of the play. So I've got those two going. Then I've written my next EP, and I'm going to record that soon. And I've also got some songs coming out. I've got 2 songs coming out on the 8th of April, which is a double single called Nothing Goes and Hey, That's Nowhere to Say Goodbye.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. It was lovely to chat to you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Oliver, for coming into the studio today. And we are very lucky because Oliver brought in his acoustic guitar and he's going to be playing us an acoustic live version of his newest single coming out soon, Nothing Goes.
Stormy Sydney Sunday, when swimming in the rain. A knowing look from Ellie as the lightning hit my veins. And day to test the waters of my hopeless, hoping heart. Every moment you move in like a fleeting work of art, but nothing goes, no, nothing goes, nothing ever goes how you plan. Went to see the paintings, she said choose your favorite one. But my mind had been moved into, and my thoughts been overrun. I asked her to hold me tightly, there to turn into one. Said if we never leave here, well, will time refuse to run? But nothing goes, no, nothing goes, nothing ever goes how I planned. Now that it is over, I'll be certain that you care. 'Cause there is love in leaving when you know you're not prepared. And I will wish we made it, whilst I know it's for the best. I'll swim at dawn and let her wash this wave from off my chest. 'Cause nothing goes, no, nothing goes, nothing ever goes how I plan. No, nothing goes, no, nothing will go, nothing ever goes how you plan. No, nothing will go, no, nothing will go, nothing ever goes how we plan.
That was Oliver Beard with his single Nothing Goes that will be releasing on April 8th.